are alcohols. In this video, we will learn some of chemical properties of alcohols, how to classify alcohols, and what are the uses of alcohols. But first, I will tell you what is the definition of alcohol. An alcohol is an organic compound that contains one or more hydroxyl or -OH groups, which is an oxygen is bonded to a hydrogen. The general formula for alcohols is R-OH, where R is the rest of the molecule and OH as the alcohol functional group. Do not confuse alcohols with inorganic bases that contain the hydroxide ion. The -OH group in an alcohol is covalently bonded to a carbon atom and does not ionize in solution.
These are the steps on how to name alcohols. Name the parent compound by finding the longest continuous carbon atom chain that also contains the hydroxyl group. If there is one hydroxyl group in the molecule, change the final E in the name of the alkane to ol. If there is more than one hydroxyl group, use the full name of the alkane and add the suffix to indicate the number of hydroxyl groups. For example, 2 hydroxyl groups is diol, 3 is triol, etc. Here is a methane replaced a hydrogen with the alcohol functional group to form methanol. Propane then propanol, butane then butanol. The general formula for alcohol is C sub n, H sub 2n plus 1, OH. Alkyl groups are slightly positive. Alcohol groups are slightly negative. The hydroxyl group also gives rise to hydrogen bending.
There are 3 categories of alcohol: the primary, secondary, and tertiary. These are based on the position of the OH or hydroxide on the chain. Alcohol will react differently depending on the category they are in. In primary or 1-degree alcohol, the carbon atom in which the OH group bonded is itself attached to only one carbon chain or one alkyl group on ROH, or also known as the alcohol. For example, here is propan-1-ol. The OH is attached on the end of the carbon, and his carbon is attached to just one single chain of carbons. In secondary, or the 2-degree alcohols, the carbon atom on which the OH group is bonded is attached to 2 carbon chains or 2 alkyl groups. Here is propan-2-ol. The carbon atom on which the OH is attached, and here you can see 2 alkyl groups or 2 carbon chains attached to this carbon. In tertiary alcohols, there are 3 carbon chains attached to the carbon on which the OH is attached. For example, here is 2-methyl-propan-2-ol. The carbon attached to the OH groups is attached to the 3 alkyl groups, making it a tertiary alcohol.
Categories and uses of alcohols. It is important to categorize an alcohol as they have slightly different chemical properties. A good chemical of this that you could look into as further reading would be oxidation of alcohols with 3 different reactions occurring for primary, secondary alcohols, and tertiary alcohols. 1-degree alcohol produce an aldehyde, 2 degrees alcohol produce a ketone, and 3 degrees alcohol cannot be oxidized. Different alcohols have been used in home and industry. Ethanol is, of course, a common alcohol used in beverage, which is ethanol, but is also an important antiseptic. Ethanol can be made by 2 main methods, by femination and by hydration of ethane. Other uses of alcohols are as fuels, preservatives, and solvents.